Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get it out. I figured this is something that's already been covered, but I wanted to before we got started.
Folks, how's your arterial line doing?
It's on.
Are you good? You going to the ICU? Are the male nurses treating you real nice? This place seems too good to be true. That's right. You're in the Skullet Hospital, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And I'm your nurse for today, Ronnie Fleming. How's it going, folks? Welcome to the Skullet Podcast. To my right, put your hands together again for the hilarious comedian Winston Hodges. What's up, dude?
What's up? They don't know again. That's
a good point. Shit. Let's pull back the kimono, ladies and gentlemen. This is round two.
We did one, and it apparently I was too mean because Tim didn't have a microphone, so I would make a joke, and then no one laughed, and it just sounded like I was being really mean to Ronnie.
I mean, Tim did edit that into like a very slow zoom of me just getting sadder and sadder. It was real Ben Affleck energy, if we know what I'm talking about.
I misread the room. Yeah, Tim not making any noise for an hour. It was not. Yeah, when he explained it like that, I was like, yeah, it sounds bad.
Well, we're happy to have you back.
We're back,
you know?
brother. We're here.
Welcome aboard.
Episode 2.
Episode 2, the secret episode never to be released.
Yeah, never.
Actually, join the Patreon.
Yeah, join the Patreon. I'm of the joining because I don't remember I remember nothing about it. All I don't remember anything I've ever said on any podcast ever.
Is that true?
Yeah, I really don't. I'm as soon as it's done, because I don't know, man. I'd just be saying stuff.
That's
man.
nice, though. That's a nice superpower in a way, you know.
Do you remember what you say on all these?
I constantly, yeah.
Oh man.
No, actually, I don't. I can't. I was trying to go down that road, but it's not true. I don't remember a lot of it. No, for sure. You know, that's a risky thing. These things are being recorded.
Yeah.
Actually, last time you were here, I had just got into a car accident.
Oh, that was then?
And then yesterday, I was coming back from a show in West Virginia and blew a flat at 2 a.m. So I was just on the side of the road. So what's going on, Winston? The energy you bring in is doing terrible things to
the car.
My Nissan Versa.
Oh, the Skullet looks good, though.
Appreciate it, man.
It's like really coming in. Because I think when I was here, when we did the first one, it was like just whispers of a Skullet. You know what I mean? There was a rumor of one.
Exactly.
And now it is like, you're pretty locked in.
I am locked in, yeah. 2 days ago, I was at a bar. I was wearing a hat. Okay?
Oh, dude, I bet it was awesome.
And it looks really good with a hat.
I bet with a hat it is an incredible look.
It is. I look like I'm 21 years old and I belonged in a lacrosse team. And this guy comes up to me, he's like, dude, I'm so jealous of your hair. And I'm like, I'm about to blow your fucking mind right now.
Yeah.
I took it off, and it was like I just performed a street magic.
You were like a monkey's paw wish. I want long flowing locks that can be seen underneath my cap, and then the monkey takes away the top and immediately pushes it out the bag, dude.
It was just to watch the look on his face was
awesome, man.
Incredible, man.
So that was West Virginia?
That was West Virginia last night.
Where were you in West Virginia? Martinsburg? Where were you
Parkersburg.
Parkersburg. A lot of burgs.
A lot of burgs over
not
there.
Not in the Jewish way in West Virginia. There's almost none of those burgs, but
a lot of Steins and burgs.
A lot of Steins, yeah. I was in Parkerstein last night. I was in they named the cities after them, but they're not allowed in. They're not allowed in the state.
So where were you? You were in Ohio?
I was in Fort Wayne last night.
How'd it go?
Great.
Yeah?
When I tell you right now, those 17 people don't know what hit them.
Oh my God, dude!
We sold 17. They were good. It was a good 17. It was good. It was the type of 17 where you're like, man, I wish there was more people here just so they could see how good these 17 audience members are.
Well, listen, you got tickets sold tonight. Those 14 tonight are going to have a great time,
brother.
Right?
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Back to back.
That'll be great. I'm excited. How was Parkersburg?
Oh, it was fun, man. It was a fun little time. I mean, I don't know. At a certain point, I feel like they were tired of material, and I had to do crowd work, and they did very well. However, the way I ended the show actually was very fun.
Okay.
Never ended the show this way. I saw this tiny little bottles of cans actually, right? And they made us cans a little tower. This is how well I was doing. They wanted to make architecture out of their drinks. And
like you're in the 7th inning of a game that's 15-0 at PNC Park. They're like, I bet we can get these beers to reach the home plate.
Listen, dude, I had them on the edge of their seat. All right. So anyway, I take my hat off.
They're making wizard staffs. They're playing. That's how you know the game's going good is when they got Edward 40 hands going on in the back of the show. And at that point, you're last. Maybe I should work the crowd a little bit. They're making architects. That's really funny.
But I nailed it. I went like across 2 tables with my hat, and I actually nailed the fucking thing, and it fell down.
Did you tape that?
I did actually.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
It was electric. It felt good.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Throw it up.
God damn it! I edit the podcast now. Every time I mention a piece of media, now I have to do the
Throw it up.
Move.
Growing up.
Tim loves this now. Tim used to edit the podcast now. Ever since now, I don't even really know what
Tim
he does
doesn't edit
anymore.
anymore?
But he just kind of hangs out back there.
Yeah.
And he's not on camera. He's got his own microphone, and now I just fucking
DJ Sepsis.
Tim just had sepsis. By the way,
he just had it. He was septic.
Well, they heard it last week.
He's a big boy. He's the septic tank.
What happened?
They're gonna hear last week that I was septic. So DJ septic. you
Yeah,
know?
if you guys listen to the last episode, you guys realize that Tim is he's no longer septic.
I cheated death.
He
cheated
did.
death,
That is
yeah.
great. You did cheat death, dude. That's great. I'm glad you're alive. That'd
Thanks,
been
man.
crazy.
When's the last time you were as close to death? Did I write that down? I didn't write that down.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I've had a near death. I've been in like a few car accidents, but none were like
Really?
terrible. You know what I mean? They're all like fender benders stuff. Like I don't think I've been.
That explains the attitude. He hasn't been knocked down yet. You know.
I've been. Now you didn't ask if I've been beat up before. You just said,
Fist fight? You been fist fight?
Yeah, I've fought before by college, but it's been like a long time. But like, yeah, no, I don't know if I've never near death, or if I have been, I haven't been aware of it. I think every day I get a ticking time bomb.
Is that something you feel deep inside? Do you feel like your heart's gonna burst or something?
Heart, pancreatic cancer, probably. I think that's how my dad went. I think
is that true?
Yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna go.
Huh.
I'm like 100% positive I'm gonna have pancreatic cancer.
Is that one that skips a generation though?
It would be crazy. Yeah, it's like actually, I don't know if you know this. You can't get pancreatic cancer if your dad had it. You can't get it.
That's Tim logic right there.
Tim-
By the
Tim
way.
logic.
Well, I can't get sepsis
Yeah.
again. We
You're right. You
can't
can never get sepsis again. You've got this. You got immunity. You know what I
House
mean?
I'm playing with house
Absolutely.
money.
You
That's
don't
my
need a
life.
sepsis vaccine because you're good, dude. I've already got sepsis once. No, I just Do you? I mean, like, I'll be a bit of a hypochondriac about that. Do you not? Do you not think you know how you're gonna die?
No, no idea at all. Every day I'm thinking that I'm gonna live forever. You know?
Yeah, mine's definitely heart thing, aneurysm, or definitely pancreatic cancer. I think if we're doing honestly, I'm in March Madness mode right now. So if anybody wants to put
fun.
the bet on it right now, if you sign up for the Patreon for the Skullet Podcast and you say how you think I'm gonna die when it happens, you'll get 1 month back on the page. Like I think that's a fair deal. You get 1 month back if you guess how I.
Brilliant, dude. Please also remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Okay?
Yeah, rate, review, and subscribe.
Everyone who does, we will send a personalized note and a sticker too.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Now-
We have a gift for you, but
Is it a
I don't
sticker?
know. I do think that the heart. I think the heart is actually probably like most like that's like the Duke.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think you know how you're gonna go after the sepsis thing, near
It's
death?
something with my stomach.
You think
You
so?
know, I don't know what it's going to be. I think I have something in me right now, and I don't know what it is.
Can't
Because
do it.
why do you get sepsis randomly when you're 30? Doesn't make sense. So
Well,
there's-
you told me why. And
yeah, but
you said it's not random when you told me
Yeah.
you had a chest
What are you
infection
talking about?
and then
You're
you're on
very clear.
prednisone. The doctors explained it to you. You were in the pit,
I don't
dude.
trust 'em.
You were in the pit on Max.
Doesn't trust him.
I don't
That's-
trust them. I think they gave it
Listen.
to me.
You seen that
I
doctor
think-
show? You seen the pit?
House? Oh no.
Oh, the Pit.
It's
That's
in
like,
Pittsburgh, right?
Is that the ER
It's the one-
spinoff?
I don't know if it's the ER spinoff. It's the one that's on Max right
I
now.
haven't heard of it.
That
It's
guy-
like 24, but with a hospital where like
that guy used to be on ER. That's the thing. That's
Noah
yeah.
Wiley. or
Jack
whatever.
Bauer just saving Tara's
Yeah,
lives.
dude,
or
that's
something?
exactly. Every
Sutherland.
I like how when I tell you that it's like 24, your first thought isn't, oh, it's split up into the hours. I like where your head's at. I like the sepsis is going to your brain.
Speaking of head and speaking of brain, we got a little gift for you, bro. So this is the Skullet Pod over here.
I like
And you're
this.
going to join this. Well, not to give it away. You'll see.
Ooh,
That's a
I
little
love
Winston
this, dude.
Podhead,
This
bro.
rocks, man. I love this.
Brought to you by Tim's sister at
Your sister made it?
She
It's
did.
MrsJessiRoot.
Oh no, it's just MrsJessiRoot.
MrsJessiRoot. She makes all the little pod
That's sick. 'Cause
heads
from the
for
back,
us.
you're like, it's an acorn. And then you turn around, it's me. That rocks. I love this. This is a great gift. Thank you guys so much.
This is Tim.
Oh,
Right?
Tim's is good.
And this is me.
Oh, dude, that rocks. These
Yeah.
are awesome, man. Your sister's she's very talented.
Hear that, Jess?
Jess did a great job.
Shout out to Jess.
I surely hope she doesn't get sepsis with the type of talent that she has
Yeah.
in her body. That's cool. Does she always do, what is this?
Yeah,
felting, needlepoint? What would you call it? Not felting, but what is
this, Tim?
yarning?
It's knitting.
It's
So this
knitting.
is just knitting.
No. It's crocheting.
Okay.
She does both, but that specifically is crocheting.
Yeah.
Does she do this full time? Is she a full time crocheter?
No, but she started Etsy, so go to her Etsy, folks. She makes a lot of cool stuff.
MrsJessiRoot, big fans. We appreciate you.
Does she live in Pittsburgh too?
She lives in Cranberry, north of Pittsburgh, like an hour.
Dude. That's
Yeah.
cool as shit. Yeah, these rock, dude. Mine was sick. This one's like, oh my
That
god,
one is really
dude.
nice.
The
Yeah,
hair's
she made
crazy
one
on
from-
that. Skullet one is, that's
Yeah, that's
the
the
logo
that's
right
the
there,
breadwinner
dude.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the bread and butter. So, dude, you've been how you been since the last time we spoke? We were talking about your Don't Tell set. You did great, bro.
Thanks,
how
man.
are things since then? And
I mean, it's been fine.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
is that true? Yeah.
It is not moved the needle at all.
Wait, you just told me you sold 17 tickets.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, it would have been 15 before the Don't Tell. No, dude, it's been. It's been good. Comedy's been good. The shows have been good. Just on the road, I got to post more. I think that's the key.
That's the feeling.
I have to
yeah?
post more
Wanna
stuff.
post more?
Got to do more posting. Got to do more clips. Got to do more sketches. I got to get my podcast back because I'm inspired by the Skullet Podcast.
Bro, I mean, the way you said that, it felt like in any other context, I'm trying to get my kid back.
I am. I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. I'm going to. That's honestly, I feel like most dudes with a podcast should have to go to court to get custody of their podcast. Once a year, you have to go back and be like, we've seen what you've been doing to the pod, and we're going to have to separate you from the pod. The pod is going to have to spend time with another father figure to take over the pod. How long are you going to grow it?
Great question, man. I don't know, dude.
Because last time I saw you, not
Yeah.
podcast time, but I think the
Yeah.
last time I saw you, you were like, I feel like your girlfriend or something at the time wanted you to get rid of it.
That has not changed.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that has not changed.
And
at
it
all.
was nowhere near what it is right now.
Yeah, you know.
like this is, I didn't know what it was going to look like. Brother, this is awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's
You need to straighten it.
I need to straighten it.
Dude, like that would be unbelievable because it would be so much longer.
And that would
Interesting point.
look more like Ed Harris too.
Even if you did it just once, like at one point, like even if it's months down the line, it straightened. It will be because like I feel like right now it would touch like the middle of your back if you had it straightened.
Yeah, when it gets wet, it goes pretty deep. Maybe this because I've been having like more and more like do I want to keep doing this?
Yeah, you have to do it.
But now I think talking about straightening, I was like maybe I'll just wait till October. I'll be at Harris. We'll do a whole weekend. I'll be Hulk Hogan. I'll be all the famous Skullets, and the 31 days of Halloween or something, and then I can move on with my life. But it's become the comments online are getting pretty mean.
Oh, really? The comments?
No. I think you have more like people that like it.
No, people do like it.
I think it's more of like overall.
What are the mean comments?
well, a lot of it is just people they just don't get it.
Yeah, not
it's a
getting
lot
it.
of like just give up already, quit it. They think they don't understand how far I've come.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's the thing. So once they get on, they understand the journey. They like,
So like if you cut it, what would you would just do like a regular?
it would just be called a podcast, I think.
No, not the podcast, but like what hairstyle would you go with if you were to get rid of this right now? Would you do fully shaved?
I mean, that's where I was before, but I don't know. Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I think you just ride this out, man.
I think so too.
I think you should ride this out until Tim dies from sepsis. I think
So
that should
just
be
a
the
couple more weeks,
celebration. I
actually,
think I think that should be the celebration. Is he goes septic again, refuses to go to the hospital, and then you cut your hair and donate it to a charity.
I mean, it could be like a bet in the Patreon too. Like, do I die first or do you cut the hair first?
You know what's going to happen? Tim probably has a will, but he needs to update it. Have you ever seen that episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets the hair transplant?
Yeah.
I'm going to get Tim's hair when he dies.
That would be awesome. You just scalp him.
Yeah, I'm going to. I was imagining it being a little bit more scientific than that.
I'm
but
talking Bowie knife.
he would want it this way.
Yeah, you literally at the funeral like.
It's still like blood is dripping down my head.
I cames for what's mine's.
Then I get sepsis.
Yeah, that would be awesome, dude. Just that hair, just Skullet with a top knot.
Fuck yeah.
I can't do that.
Skullet samurai.
I mean, without dying, if I cut my hair, they could make it into a wig, and then
Yeah.
just give you like luscious.
Yeah, have you
locks.
thought about just doing this as a wig?
Someone did yesterday say yes. I've got. Someone said they're going to start a GoFundMe to get me to go to Turkey, which would be hilarious.
Yeah.
If I got crowdfunded, and it was not my idea, but if you can't anybody at home,
I think doing it till Halloween's great,
yeah.
and then because it'll be the length where then I do think you should cut it off and do your best to get it made into a skullet wig, and then the
Oh,
whole
that's
thing of the
beautiful.
podcast is you can still be shaved, but you
I'll
have
wear
to
it.
have the wig.
Okay.
You have to have the wig on it. And then the next thing is they don't know the following year that you're growing it again. And then the reveal on Halloween is you take the skullet off and the wig off, and it's an even longer skullet underneath it.
Dude, I think that's dude. I think you just gave me an out.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
in. I'm in, dude.
Dude.
This is it. Perfect. I'm so glad you came.
Yeah.
All right. Would you ever leave DC?
Yeah, I would.
Are you
I
thinking
mean, I'm
about it?
here now.
I know.
Oh, you mean like the live? The live, yeah. No, dude, I've thought about it. I've
Yeah.
thought about it. I just like DC a lot.
Yeah.
I like I'm so close to like
So many things.
so many different cities, and DC's a cool city, and I like the comedy there. But yeah, I don't know. It's just so the real thing is if I move somewhere, I would want to have like another comedy job or something lined up in that
course,
city,
yeah.
just because the thought of going back to work. Because if I moved to New York, I would have to get a day job. So mine's purely the having been full-time comedy since 2020, and then like 5 years of that, and then not feeling like a complete failure if I moved to New York and was like, all right, now
Totally,
I'm doing sales now.
Sure. Yeah. And it would be New York over LA.
I mean, I don't know. I think I just said New York then, but like I think if I was gonna go somewhere, it would be LA.
Yeah.
Just because it's like if I was gonna do something, I would want it to be the type of different where like I'm on a different coast.
For sure. Yeah.
So either LA or like maybe even Austin if that like continues to do whatever it is that it's doing. But LA, the weather would be cool. My fiance's like family lives like an hour north of LA, so there is like a fam where she would be able to move with me, and it wouldn't be like a weird thing. And then also just like I don't know, I feel like if I moved to New York, I would just be doing stand up, which I'm already doing
Yeah.
now. So if I was gonna move, I would want to do something different. Like in LA feels like the place to
How long have
to
you
do-
been fiancéed?
since December.
Oh, congratulations,
Thanks,
man.
man.
How'd you propose?
I asked that guy, went up to her and was like, "Hey."
Yeah, he just went up to her.
No, I went up to- I just went
like
up to
waiting
her,
in line
yeah.
at Panera.
I was like, I was behind her. I was like, hey, when you're done paying for this, I was like, I would like the 2 for 20, and then also will you marry me? Nah, dude, I did the whole thing with the in Old Town, Alexandria. It's like on the Potomac, and got down on one knee when we had like a nice dinner with like 4 or 5 of our closest like couple friends, and then like it was good. She said yes, which
Hell
rocks.
Yeah, man, that's good.
So we'll get married sometime next year, I think.
Oh, cool.
When's yours coming up?
We're doing it pretty right after this, actually.
Ooh, let's go,
she,
dude.
she doesn't know it yet, but I'm gonna give her a lock of my hair.
Would you ever move out of Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
again?
I would. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
But-
think that's the plan?
What's that?
Does he think that's the plan eventually?
Yeah, once Tim dies, I'm mostly staying for him.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
mostly staying until I get the hair.
Yeah, once I get the hair, then I think I'm ready to move to LA. Okay, then I'm camera ready. But yeah, I think I would. But in the
You want to go back to
meantime-
New York? Because you were in New York, right?
I was
am
in
I-
New York,
okay.
but it's man, it can be a pretty depressing place.
Yeah.
So I don't.
That's not a city I would want to live. It just the city's a lot. I'm from like an actual really, really, really small town. DC's like as big of a city as I think I can handle. And then like the next step is like LA or New York, and those are definitely way bigger. But with LA, I'm like, even though it would suck, I'd at least be able to still have a car.
Sure.
And I do prefer driving to, whatever. And then also just like if I'm going to be in a giant city that I don't love, like at least would like, the weather to be, you know what I mean?
Totally,
Like
yeah.
would be nice, and the fires would be sick too.
That is nice, warming yourself.
Yeah, dude, you're never cold, dude. Just fucking if you're cold, wait 4 minutes, do the whole forest, all the woods.
Yeah.
Do you think out of all like this not main cities that you'd think of for comedy, people think like Chicago, LA,
Yeah.
New York stuff. DC's pretty good though, right? So do you think it's out of like the mid tier ones? Do you think it's the best?
So it's weird because it's like I think if we're doing New York and LA are 1A and 1B, I think right below that is like 2A and 2B are Chicago and Austin. And then I think underneath that is like, because to me it's all like industry, and there's no industry in DC, and like there's some industry in like Atlanta. So Atlanta's really good for stand up, but also they film a ton of stuff down there. But like New York and LA, that's all the industry, all the, easiest place to get huge. And then with Chicago, there's some industry, but also it's mainly like there's also a ton of improv. That's like their improv scene's huge, so it's not just stand up. And then Austin has like Kill Tony and Rogan, which is like their own weird industry thing. So I think like outside of that, if you're just going by who has like good comedy, it's like DC's really good. Like I was pretty impressed with Portland when I was out in Portland. I've heard Denver's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Pittsburgh. I mean, like honestly, like for the most part, I like most of the comics in like the mid-tier cities that I've been to, where I just feel like, there's a lot of comics that are like decided New York and LA is not for them, but they still just want to get better at stand-up. So you'll see a bunch of good comics on the road, which kind of rocks.
Yeah. Nashville.
Yeah. Nashville's really good. Atlanta rocks. I mean, Texas got like Houston and Dallas. I mean, there's so many like good comedy cities, I think. But yeah, I think like outside that, I wouldn't make a move to like a lateral one just because it's like, I can get a ton of good stage time in DC. I can get to like Philly's great. I can get to Philly in 2 hours and 20 minutes driving. I could take a train to New York in 2.5 hours. It's like, even if you want to like, I'll go, flight to Boston's like nothing. Like Boston has a bunch of good comics. There's a bunch of good comedy cities in the U.S., but I think they're all lateral moves to DC outside of New York and L.A. and maybe Chicago and Austin. But Chicago and Austin still feel like you move there and then eventually you have to move to L.A. or New York again. Mm-hmm. Like unless you're in the Rogan sphere or the Kill Tony sphere, which I don't know if I would. Did you ever try to do Kill Tony?
Did I ever, or would I ever?
No, have you ever done it? Like,
I've never known.
Okay, Tim, would you go on it? Not as a comic, but as like a person, would you
go to the show?
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, for sure. I assume it's got to be a fun show. I mean, if it's,
it seems insane.
They have a live band.
Yeah, honestly, that brings a lot. People, I think people underestimate how much that is bringing to a 2-hour open mic.
No. Definitely.
Huge.
That's what it's because like there's drinks. It's a show, not just like an open mic where you get like this, and you get to see people on like the panel that you like. Plus like some of the regulars, like Martin stuff. Like,
Martin's great. I saw him yesterday. We were both in Fort Wayne working different clubs.
That's awesome, man.
So we got to watch March Madness and stuff together.
Oh,
Martin's
cool.
really funny.
Sweet. Yeah, so I mean, you see some good comics, and I think as an audience member, it'd be more fun. If I was a comic, I don't see the benefit of doing it really, unless you're like, I'm definitely going to do well.
Yeah,
just the risk versus reward on that, I don't get.
And I honestly think like the risk versus reward is like the better you are at comedy, the higher the risk is versus the reward.
Sure, yeah.
So like I would love to do it just because Martin's done it, and it would be fun to get up there because it would be fun to do it, and then like I instantly have a nice panel discussion about like I used to live with Martin. You know what I mean? And like be able to connect and talk about it. But it would be weird. I always think it's weird when people do it, and then it's like someone that's been doing comedy 10 to 15 years, and then if they don't crush, they sometimes know like some of the panelists. Like it's people that like they've opened for. Like that would be so weird because there's people I've opened for where like I would do it and I get up there and be like, hey, what's up? I guess so. I think the risk far outweighs the reward. Like at the point that I'm at, but I do think it would be the type of thing where it's like it feels dumb to not at least try it once because it just seems silly and seems like ridiculous. Like even something 30 years from now, be like, yeah, try Kill Tony, man. I got raked over the coals, dude.
Yeah. Since we're just talking about comedy stuff, you're like pretty like a prolific comic. You write a lot of stuff, and you have like the crowd work stuff too. Like you do like full crowd work shows. I guess I'm just kind of curious. I mean, yeah. Oh, speaking of, you did a great crowd work show the last time you were here.
I did.
Insanity and Insanity. That show lasted.
Boy.
It was.
Y'all still do shows there?
Short-lived. It lasted one time, and that was
wasn't my fault. I did everything I could.
It was. You did great. That was the whole thing. Is like we can't.
We
can't replicate this. It was.
That was insane.
It was a tightrope walk.
I actually just saw the guy who actually won your shirt at a show in Strip District. I was like, how do I know you? I was like, I've seen photos of you. You were on stage with me.
Photos of you.
we got all those photos. I'm just like sitting right next to him.
Dude with the skull comes up like, I've seen photos of you.
I've seen photos of you, bro. I got them in my house. How'd you get on my house photos? How'd you get on the wall? How'd you get on my stalking wall?
Just the eyes are missing.
Yeah, the eyes are missing.
And the mouth.
I recognize you. You that boy I done cut the eyes out on that photo back at the house. Why'd I have that photo?
But
that show was crazy.
That show was crazy. It did great. I had a fun time. I think everyone had a fun time.
I had fun too.
Can't be replicated, but it was a wild one.
I had fun too. It was just the type of thing where I was like, they were getting crazier after each person, but I was like, I was like, they'll probably be fun. Like I was like, and then I couldn't do a single joke. It was the entire thing, which is what I did last night in Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne was all crowd work. I did like 45 minutes of crowd work with only 17 people, and it was fun. I generally, my rule of thumb is I'll start with it, and then I'll go until I'm having a bad time. And that's what
You'll start with crowd.
I'll start with when it's like a small intimate show like that, where it's like I'll go until like with my rule is usually 20 or less people. If there's 20 or less people, and they're like, I'm a little nervous about. I just want to connect with them, so I'll try to connect, and then if it really starts rolling, I just go until, all right, we can do jokes. And then last night it was like I just went up and my watch like vibrated and let me know it had been 45, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to do a joke.
Yeah. And
I'm going to close on a joke. But that Insanity show was crazy. I could not remember the name of that place to save my life. I was talking about that show the other day, about how insane it is.
Sons of Insanity. That was...
Did they just not want to do it again also, or were you just literally like, were you nervous that you would have to book like a crowd work comic every single time?
It was partially that. It was a lot of setup too. Yeah, we tried. We did
like
a show at
coolers.
this tanning salon, and it was we had this whole like it was
the black guy won the free tan.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
That's
that's one of the best comedy moments of my life. The one black guy on the block.
Yeah. So just some context. We had a show at a tanning salon. It was like a game show. Audience members would win things, right? So they'd choose between like 3 coolers and stuff. And there was like one black guy on his birthday.
Yeah, on his birthday.
He won a free subscription, or no, it was like a $50 gift card to get tanned. It was like unbelievable.
Was awesome.
Not planned, a perfect moment.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's one where you're like, yeah, there's a God and he loves comedy, brother, and because it's too funny. Because I looked at it and I was like, well, that's literally because I think I was doing the math where I was like I think 35 to 40 people came to that.
Yeah.
So it's like. That was a like 2.5% chance of that happening.
Yeah.
And that's like...
and it's like, there was 2 coolers I could pick from.
Yeah.
And I put the prizes in it, so I knew it was in it, and I saw his name get called, and I was like, there's a 50% chance this can go.
So it was 2.5 and then 50-50. Yeah. So 1.25% chance that he would get it and then also pick that. I don't know. That math honestly might be, I'm not good at statistics.
You know what? We both were just like, that's exactly right.
He is prolific.
Yeah, I'm a prolific man.
Crazy show. But going back to that, I guess like the prolific one. You write like if you were to like somebody who's like kind of curious, like how would they write as much or like put out as much material as you were doing? What would you?
I mean, you have to be born a genius. And people don't talk about that.
No one wants to say
people don't talk about that enough.
That is true.
It's purely God-given talent and no effort on your part at all. So if you're not already prolific, you should quit.
That's fair, dude.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to be. Mine is like the crowd work helps me because I always start with the normal crowd work questions, but then I'll ask the more weird ones. And so the weird ones always lead to like either extensions of bits I already have or just new ideas. Like I've got a new thing that I'm doing that was just from a crowd work interaction I did in like Bristol, Tennessee, like 3 weeks ago. But it was like a crowd work thing. And I started thinking, I was like, oh, this is something that could be replicated as like a, because a lot of bits are just like, I was talking to a friend the other day.
Sure.
And then, when crowd work's really good, it is just talking to a friend. So you can just like take that and switch it to like, I was talking to my buddy.
Yeah.
And it, it really was just like a random stranger. But this year I'm trying to do more of I've never been a write off stage like I don't sit down and write. But this year is like, I'm in a group chat with some of my comedy friends, and to hold myself accountable, we have like, you have to send a premise or a joke every day to this group chat.
Cool.
And so just like having an idea and then I'll go riff on it on stage. But yeah, just to, do like for actual stuff is like go to every show or open mic you can, even the ones that you think are bad. And if you go to one that's like really, really bad and it's just comics, say stuff you've never said before. And you might just figure out something. Even if it doesn't work, it's like, oh, that idea. Because sometimes you just need to hear it said into a mic. It's so weird how like saying it into a microphone, because you can walk around your house and like say your premises or whatever, but there's something about like your body language changes when you're holding a mic and you're projecting into it, and there's just something like it. Like I think it tricks your brain into thinking like I got to go into performance mode. But yeah, I mean that and just doing as many sets as possible is like the biggest one. What about you? What's your writing process?
I do write stuff down, but there is something about like writing it down then versus like there's so many things that I've gone on stage and just changed like right before I went up because I'm like, this doesn't work. And then like the fear, the pressure of it.
Dude.
And then you're like, oh, okay, here it is. And then I'll try.
Yeah, that procrastination brain, dude. Like you got a paper, you have a paper due at noon, and it's 10:30. You've done nothing on it.
Exactly.
You're like, all right, it's time to lock in.
Yeah, so that is nice. So that's I don't know, and then just talking to, and then Tim will give me some things like, you know, you say you work at a juice truck. Say you work for Jews and juice, you know.
Okay.
Tim will do that. Nice, Tim.
Well, tell.
I didn't know. Do you have real life AI in the house? What should I write jokes about, Tim? You should do Jews in a juice truck.
No, listen.
You should do that.
There's slight truth to that. I mean, we'll say what. So I said something. So I don't remember what it was. It was something like that. It was like something about that connection of the words. Just being, I was trolling him when I said it, and he goes, "Yeah, good one." All right. 2 weeks later, I won't say
he's fucking doing it on stage.
He's out with. Well, he was
nice job, dipshit. And then he's just saying it out loud to a group of friends, and it's murdering.
No, he comes back the next, like 2 weeks later after hanging out with one of the headliners from the Don't Tell. He's like, he gave me this idea about like the Jews and the juice, and like said the premise that I was saying to him, and I was like, I said that 2 weeks ago, and you looked at me like an idiot, and then you get it from him, and you're like,
That's
it's just
so
crazy
funny,
how his
dude.
brain works.
Yeah, it's
Listen,
crazy.
I'll tell you this.
He's a
either
genius.
way, it did bomb. So
I mean, yeah, I don't think I've ever given a suggestion that didn't bomb to anybody. So
no,
Fourth most worked pretty good.
oh yeah, you did that
did that work? That
well,
was
I went to see him. In
I've done it
DC.
one time, and I did it when he was in the audience the
Yeah.
day after it happened at a
Yeah.
mic, and it worked. It was just
you got to bring it back.
no, it was just funny to just see
funny
because
to
he
do
knew
for
what it was so funny. The moment I started, he knew what was coming, and he was in the
Totally,
back,
yeah.
and I could just see him being like, "What the fuck?" And then just to see him watch a room full of people laugh at him.
For the people at home,
That is good.
I misspoke, and then the next day,
And by misspoke is I said foremost, and he thought that meant fourth most, like fourth best at a thing. I don't know what we were talking about. I said I was the foremost.
burgers.
Oh yeah, we're talking about it's the foremost. Oh, they're the foremost in burgers. You're like, it's the fourth most?
I said, "Who's the top three?"
Yeah, who's the top three? Which is insane,
Fair
dude.
question. But then then I go to DC to watch him at a show,
And no one else picked up on it. And I was like, what did you say? What just came out of your mouth? What do you mean the three? And it was like, and no one else was piecing it together. And I was like, did you think I meant fourth, like as in fourth place, fourth most?
I was tired.
Which is great. I think about that all the time now. I think about fourth most constantly.
Do you even watch anything, read anything? Yeah.
Watching Severance right now.
You liking it? Did you finish it? Did you finish the?
No, my fiance, we started the first season like a week and a half ago. We're like halfway through season 2.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it. You like it?
I saw the first episode, and then they said I needed to pay for Apple TV, and I haven't gotten
Oh,
into
bro.
it, you know?
Do you like it? You watch your Severance guy?
I haven't watched it. It's on Apple TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard it's worth it, so I might.
I will say right now is it's like Apple TV has like 3 shows that you should just pay for a month of it and be like, I'm going to binge it. You should binge Severance, something Horses. It's got Gary Oldman in it. It's like been on for like 3 or 4 seasons. It's like a spy show, and
fun.
he's real good in it. And Mythic Quest, which is like the sitcom, and they're just finishing up. This coming Wednesday will be the I think it's like Slow Horses or something. But the 4th season of Mythic Quest ends this coming Wednesday, and it's worth watching it. It's got the guy that it's created by the guy that plays Mac on It's Always Sunny,
Right, yeah.
and it's like set at like a World of Warcraft type of place, but it's not. You don't have to be into games. Like my fiance doesn't play video games at all, and we like really like that show. That's the 3. They got other stuff on there. They got some movies that are pretty good. Oh, they got that Brad Pitt, George Clooney Hitman movie.
Straight to Apple TV.
Yeah,
movie.
it's awesome.
It's good.
Dude. I'll be honest. It hits me right in what I need it to be, which is
Okay.
like it's the type of movie where you finished it and you're like, man, I could watch like 9 of these.
Yeah.
because it's just George Clooney and Brad Pitt chewing scenery for
That's
2
fun,
hours.
dude. Yeah, it's almost like a kind of a throwback in a way.
Yeah, like
You
that
know?
type. Yeah, we're just like, oh man, you just need these 2 guys and a silly premise, and it's just funny enough, and the action's just good enough to where you're like, okay, this is pretty fun. But I would say Apple TV, you can watch everything you want to watch once a month every year. Like if you just do a month of it,
That's good.
and then you
yeah.
just watch all the seasons of the stuff you want to do, and you just really binge it, and then you don't need to do it because they don't have a ton of. I think they're pulling back on. I think they're going to be doing less original content, which is
Apple TV or just streaming.
Apple
in general?
TV. I think streaming in general, but I think Apple TV has like come out and been like because I think Severance is like $20 million an episode. Like it's some absurd amount of money. That's really good.
Huh. I used to work for. Oh no, my friend. I used to drive. My friend paid me to drive him to the Severance place when I was living in New York. It was in Queens,
No way.
and I would drive him. He would just work. He did like the finance for it or whatever.
That's pretty sick.
But that's
It's
cool.
good.
And you saw like the promo they did where they like went to Grand Central.
Yeah, I thought that was really
fucking
cool.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
Sweet.
What are you watching right now?
3 Body Problem?
What's 3 Body Problem?
3 Body Problem. It's
What's
like
it
you
on?
watched it?
Yeah, I watched it.
It's like it's based on a book, but it's basically like this these aliens. It's like an alien invasion kind of
Netflix or-
Netflix,
okay.
yeah. And but it's like they kind of like they trick you into help. Like they're killing a bunch of scientists and stuff.
Oh,
because,
weird.
Like they're gonna invade the Earth in like 200 years, so they're kind of like tricking people and like they. By the time we get here, our technology is going to be so good that we'll be able to defeat them.
Oh, but they want us to. Okay, that's pretty cool. So they're trying
Yeah.
to kill all the scientists so that we
Totally.
can't
Exactly, yeah.
beat them when they show up. Okay, that's a.
So it's kind of like a mind fuck, but it's like pretty
worth
good.
watching though.
Worth watching for
Okay.
sure, yeah.
What about you, Tim?
I've actually been watching stuff. I watched Whiplash for the first time because Ronnie's been begging me to
That's a good
watch
movie.
it. Oh, great movie.
Yeah.
And I've been watching like thrillers. What have I watched recently? I'm watching that new
I always
show.
thought they should have changed the name Whiplash. I thought it should have been called The Little Drummer Boy.
Ronnie likes that.
It's a Christmas movie.
That would be so funny. We're gonna go see The Little Drummer Boy.
Hands are bleeding.
Yeah, he answered. He's like, yeah, you know,
That's good.
That's what he is. He's a
J.K.
little-
Simmons did play Santa in a movie.
He did.
Wow. Is that
So-
the old guy?
The
Is
old
that
guy.
the old guy?
What the fuck?
Pretty bad.
That's crazy,
He's a
dude.
bald icon. Man.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
not an old
He's
guy.
the foremost bald man on television.
Who are the top 3 then? I mean,
Top 3 bald guys?
yeah.
Oh, this
J.K.
is fun.
Simmons might actually be in the top 3, but let's say he's
What else
fourth.
is he in though?
What?
He's the dad
He's
in
fucking-
Invincible.
What the fuck, dude? He's fucking.
What has he not been in?
He's J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
He was in the prison movie or prison TV show on HBO back in the day.
Would you say Statham's top 3 bald guys?
Absolutely. I mean, Statham's like he's like
Rock top 3 bald
the Rock,
guys?
but he's more. The Rock is like a bald guy, but he's more than that. He's transcendent.
He's not known
bald.
for being bald. He's known for being.
So we'll do
jacked.
Statham's bald guy. He's
Bruce
top
Willis, but he's really fallen off since he's gotten senile. And,
3. Since he said mental faculties have
yeah,
depleted.
he was like a '90s bald guy. You know, it's like I think it's generational. It's like it was him and MJ back in the day.
Yeah, who else is a good bald?
I'm gonna see what AI says to the top 3 bald
Okay.
icons on TV.
See, for me, when I started losing my hair, it was like Breaking Bad was really big. You know,
Oh, yeah, dude.
it was huge. Really
Walter
important,
White's a
really
good
important.
bald.
Yeah, he's a good bald. But yeah, Statham's up there.
You guys named them all. I mean, AI says the top 3 is The Rock, Bruce Willis, and Jason Statham.
Brother, let me tell you right now, and J.K. Simmons is the 4th most. He's the 4th most. Oh, man, that was
good.
That feels like a clip.
That's nice. That's nice. Fuck yeah, dude.
That feels good, dude.
Yeah, you can't totally trust these the AI though. I sent a photo of my tire, and they were just like they got the tire wrong. So I just got.
You said a tire to your. What were you
I was
asking
just trying to
at?
find him like what
You
kind
changed
of.
this for me last night. It's like,
Hey, I was like, no, I am a program.
we can call a man to
We
help
can
fix
call
it,
a man to fix it tomorrow when the man store opens.
Well, sick man. Let's see. I think we're probably wrapping up here.
Are we wrapping up, Tim?
I was gonna ask though. You had you're gonna say cities you like in DC and stuff.
Yes.
You had your car broken into,
I did, yeah. My
In
car got
DC.
broken into in October.
and like a lot of that was pretty big, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they stole a lot of expensive stuff.
Right. I remember that. Yeah, that sucks.
They did.
man.
Thank you for bringing it up. They stole a camera. They stole my. I luckily had one of my cameras with the lens on it, with one of my lenses on it, and a tripod, and like one of my audio recorders in the. I had it like in the. Just because I ran in to do a show real quick.
Yeah.
And within the 30 minutes that I was in at the show, I got busted in. They took my bag. So I lost like 3 lenses.
Shit.
I lost my Zoom recorder. I lost my Rode Lav mics. I lost a camera because I had 2 and just all this other stuff. Lost 3 months of joke notes. That was the one that was like, where they broke into the car and then I had to like, in a 3-block radius, I just started walking to trash cans to see if, because I figured I would have been so fun. I literally would have been so less upset because I have outside of that 3-month thing that's been stolen, I have every set list I've ever written.
Wow.
Like I just collect all of them. And so I'm a completionist and I every day think about those notes. I think about those every day. It's every single day I think about it. It's which I care way more about because I had good, note to stuff. If you don't have renter's insurance, you should get it. because it covers stuff in your car.
Did that for you?
Yep. So renter's insurance, you just double check and make sure that the renter's insurance you have, renter's insurance is usually like $10 to $20 a month, and mine covers like up to $20,000 worth of personal property stuff,
shit,
but it
that's
extends to your car. Your car insurance does not cover things that get stolen. It's only damage to your vehicle. But like renter's insurance will cut, and it will change your life to have that.
Wow, pro tip.
Yeah.
Did that drop DC off your list at all? Were you like, I can't believe?
No, because I was so mad at myself because it was the only time I've ever left a backpack in the front seat of my car because I was just running into the spot because I was last and they texted me, you're up next. So I didn't have time to whatever.
Sure.
It's the only time in DC where when I've had something in my car, I didn't have it covered with a blanket. And I always thought that was so stupid and dumb. And no, that is the only way to not have your car broken into.
That's crazy. The one time.
It's the only time I've ever not done it.
Have you been doing DC is that your entire comedic career? Because you're from
No, I started in
Virginia, right?
Richmond, Virginia. So I did Richmond for like 5 years. This is the only time I've ever had my car broken into in my life. So it was like, I was furious. I was like real angry. And then I called the police. I don't know if you know this. They don't always send people. They just sometimes tell you, dude. They told me to take pictures and collect evidence. And I was like, I don't know.
Like
I was like, I don't think I'm allowed to do that.
You should also arrest the guy.
Yeah,
who did it.
it's like, but it's like, dude, literally the two things. So I called them and they're like, hey, since this is a non-emergency, take all the photos that you see, and so I just had to like, okay, and by my brain I'm like, there's glass in my car, like I don't.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, and so I had to drive, just sitting on glass.
Oh God.
Driving back to my house, they were like, yeah, send us this information. You'll get a call in 4 to 5 business days from a detective.
They punched open or
yeah,
they broke
it was a smash and grab. So they just punched open, leaned in, grabbed it, and they took that, and then they also took like a bag full of like, I had 5 SM58 mics for podcasting, and they took all of them.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I was pretty angry.
You should have called him back like 10 minutes later and been like, I'm in pursuit. Like,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
full speed.
Yeah, I found a random guy. I think he looks like he did it.
I'm beating somebody now.
I've got my gun out. I'm probably going to kill this guy. If you want to come.
Do not send back up.
No backup. No good. Nope. I have no reason to believe this other than vibes.
Officer down.
Officer vibes. Well, dude, so that's one half where I was kidding. I was so frustrated at that, where it was like, to tell me to like, literally to be like, take any photos and collect any evidence. And I was like, there's no universe where it doesn't get thrown out of court that I am collecting the evidence.
God, true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Wow.
Where it's like, it says here that the evidence was collected by this guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm like, yeah.
Stand there.
And it's also like, what am I going to collect? I don't have like the bags. I don't have the evidence bags.
You're putting like stuff to get. Like,
I know, like I'm putting it in like an Arby's bag, or like putting it in a, you know what I mean, or like a little Target plastic wrap and dropping it off.
Planted evidence and framed somebody.
Yeah, right. And then like 5 days later, the detective finally calls, and he was just like, I asked me to walk him through it. Where I told him exactly where I was, like where I thought there would be cameras for them to check. And he sounded so disinterested. He's like, you just need to give me a list of all the items that were taken. Because he just knows that we're like doing the police report so that I can get insurance. Like that's what, you know what I mean? Like that's what it is. He literally goes, and this part almost sent me up a wall, where he's like, yeah, you know, I said, I was here. I think they have cameras and stuff here. He goes, okay. He goes, you know, you could go by there and ask them to look at their security camera stuff.
Jesus.
And I was like, like what the, like it's in DC. They're just like, could you just be a vigilante? Like, could you please just become Batman and deal with your own problem? But that's how, like, apparently they're so underfunded right now that, like, the DC police force is, like, half what it should be. And they're offering signing bonuses bigger than the military does right now.
Wow.
It's gonna be a cop. I mean, you got the training. I mean, that's actually their job interview.
Yeah,
is they break into your car and then see how well you collect evidence, and that's where they're hiring the cops.
That's actually pretty good.
Just be like, do you want to go knock on doors? And I'm like, do your job. Like literally do your job. Like this is crazy that you're asking. And then I never heard anything back. That was the last interaction I had.
I don't think because even here, my motorcycle got stolen, and I called the cops. And they're just pretty much like, you're not getting it back.
Yeah. Well, dude, they were like, can you give me, I gave them serial numbers for all the stuff. They're like, we got a database. We check with the pawn shops. And I'm like, my brain was like, should I just, they're like, if you could also keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace for us and eBay. And I'm like,
It's like also like my kid needs to get picked up from
Yeah.
school or
Yeah, and if you want to go, it's like actually, if you go by here, that's the neighborhood where I was having my dry cleaning done. If you could pick that up after you talk to Mr. Johnson at 323
And
Euclid.
2 sugars, oat milk, and then we'll be good. That's it.
What would
That's
they have
crazy.
done if I'd have brought the guy in and I'd been like, here he is, I killed his brother. He tried to run away. I gunned down this 50 because it was a child. Obviously, there's definitely kids that did it. Like that's what I know. It's like a 15 or 16-year-old,
Right.
And it's the type of thing where it's just like, yeah, dude, I went full street justice and killed 3 teenage boys that took my camera that was covered by insurance.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
How big is that sign-in bonus, and how long do you have to be to collect?
I don't. It's literally like 20 grand or something. It's like an insane amount of money. Like,
But how long did it be? Like, when can you leave?
oh, that's a good point. You'd be like a little. You got the head for a cop right now,
you so
dude.
much,
that would
man.
be that would be
What-
awesome, dude.
what would you
Officer
think-
Skullet.
You got pulled over by a cop with a I'll be like,
Yeah,
I'm going.
I'd be like, well, yeah, here, state trooper, and you just take off the hat, and I'm like, oh my god, license and registration, please.
Well, the thing is, it sucks about that is a lot of times you had to knock on the door like, your daughter was killed in a car accident.
Clown.
So, yeah, just like, sorry to break it to you, sir, but we found your daughter murdered on the side of the road. I know I look like I did it.
It was not me.
It was not me. But I'll be honest with you. Descriptions from people at the scene, the guy did look like me. I'm after him. He's ruining my good Skullet name.
Ask her to collect the evidence. Like, I'd knock on the door
Yeah.
when they do that.
Excuse me.
Oh, man. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we get that sign-in bonus.
I'm excited for 14 tickets tonight. That sounds good.
It's going to be fun. It's a tiny little room, so we're having a good time. Folks, thank Winston so much for coming through. Where can people find you, man?
Oh, man. At Winston H Comedy, YouTube, Winston Hodges Comedy, or my website will be up in the next month or so, winstonhodges.com. But yeah, just check it out. Come to a show. Shows are fun.
We'll see.
And this will be up, I think. I think this one will get put up.
No, we're not going to release this one. So I started growing this. We always end the same way. So I started growing the skullet. You know, at the beginning it was sort of like a goof.
Has it been a year yet?
It has been 40 weeks. So about this 9 months. This is
Wow,
like
dude.
a child. You know, it's come full term. Yeah. The doctor says it's healthy. And so I started growing the hair out. In the beginning, it was kind of like a goof. You know, I
Yeah.
saw this movie, Love Lies Bleeding.
Yep.
Did I tell you? Did we go through this last time?
Yeah, I think so. But
Fuck.
but they don't know that we
They
did
actually
it.
don't. Perfect. I'm cutting this. I do anyway. So basically, as maybe you know, only because you've listened to all the episodes, but at the beginning it was sort of like a goof,
Yeah, it's a gag.
And then as I went through my life, I was growing it out more. It was almost like an act of rebellion,
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious if there's anything in your life, that other than comedy, maybe friends, family, loved ones were like, Winston, maybe you shouldn't do this. But deep down, you're like, I gotta. So, what is your Skullet?
Oh man, what is my? I think quit. It's not just the doing comedy. It was the quitting my job when I first started stand up with no backup.
Wow.
To like quitting my job, breaking up with my girlfriend at the time, and starting comedy like a month later. I think a lot of people were like pretty concerned. And then I didn't have a job the first year and a half I did comedy. I was living off my savings from when I was working at the car dealership, and then I had to go into teaching. But that year and a half, I do think a lot of people were like not telling me, and they were like really worried about what I was doing. that was my Skullet.
So you broke up with this girl to do comedy?
Well, the relationship was just bad. We weren't
got
a good match for each other. The job, I was miserable at the job, and it was like relationship ended, quit the job the following week, and I was like, I'm gonna try comedy.
Yeah,
like I have to do it. And then like a month later was a comedy contest at the Richmond Funny Bone, and I just participated in it. I was like, I'm just gonna this is what I do now. I'm gonna do this forever. That's probably I think that's the most scared anyone's ever been for me.
And how were you scared, or you were just like, no, like you were just completely?
I just thought I'd
kinda in the
figure it
zone?
out. I was just like, I think in my brain, I was like, I'll get a job when I have to. Like my savings was okay. Like I was living at home at the time, so I didn't really have a ton of like bills or whatever. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like take advantage of this privileged situation that I got going on right now, and then I'll go. And then the moment I was like, my savings were getting real low, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go teach.
Did anybody has anyone had a conversation with you like since now there's
No.
like things are like a little bit better, obviously way better now, but they were like, was anybody like, we were really scared?
No, I haven't had that yet. I think because my parents at the time were pretty, upfront about like, hey, you need to make money and be able to pay for insurance. That's like the two biggest ones. No, I lucked out. I've never really had any other skullet situations, man. I wish I have. I wish I could grow a skullet.
You can.
I can't.
Anyone can do it,
I
man.
can't, man.
Join, man. It's a movement.
That's actually a good point. Not everyone can grow a skullet. Because if you shave your head, is that...
I don't think it is.
Yeah,
I think that's whack.
Stolen valor,
Yeah,
really.
I think it's whack when people do that.
A lot of times they do it for like religious reasons, though.
No, that's
What?
also whack.
Really?
The monks.
The monks do it, or some guy
What is
did
that, a
it.
skullet, though?
This is what
It's
is
a friar tuck.
check into ChatGPT. What is a skullet? What defines it? Because this has come up.
Because when I think friar tuck, it's the same all the way around, so I wouldn't call that a skullet.
A skullet is a hairstyle that involves being bald on the top of the head while keeping the hair long at the back, resembling a combination of a mullet and a bald head. The term skullet is a humorous and somewhat mocking description, as it often refers to a style that's unconventional and sometimes associated with a more retro or eccentric fashion choice.
There you go, dude.
Yeah.
Last time we had a guy named Tito Garza. I was like, I'm being more and more eccentric. He's like, you think that makes you eccentric? I'm like, yes. Well, why would it not make me eccentric?
You should have when you get rid of it, you should have a big going away show, and everyone on the show should have to cut their hair like that.
What?
I think I know why 14 tickets sold. It's like, you come to my show, you got to shave the top
that'd be
of your
fun,
head.
dude. No, but it's a show where it's the farewell to the Skullet show,
Yeah.
and the end of the show is you shaving it.
Yeah.
But after you do a headlining set, but all the openers have to have skullets.
I like that,
Yeah,
man.
that'd be good.
Yeah, and I think the way we will promote it too is very sad. You know,
It's a sad-
like we're saying goodbye.
Yeah, saying goodbye to
loved
Ronnie.
ones, you know? I will remember you. That one, yeah.
It's like the Johnstown kind of cult type of thing to get people to shave their head for you.
So what?
Johnstown.
Johnstown.
It's Jonestown.
Jonestown. You know what?
All right, you pushed him over the edge with that one.
Great.
Actually,
How would you check AI on that one? Let's double check on that one.
oh, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough because it
Jim-
got me too.
Yeah, old Jim Jones is in charge of Johnstown.
That's why he was so mad.
I can't talk to Winston for over an hour without saying, I'm
That's just
so
one thing.
careful.
No, it's fun.
I'm
I like
so
finding out
careful.
when just like that's just because your whole life you've been walking around with that, and today I got to educate it out of your brain.
It wasn't even a motorcycle they got stolen. It was a moped.
It was a
I just lost it.
Johnstown. Johnstown massacre, the cult.
From Johnstown to Pittsburgh to D.C. to where were you? Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne to Columbus, back to D.C.
Hell yeah, bro! You've been great. Great
This is
having you
fun.
for a second time. This has been. We'll do this again.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll do it again.
And remember, folks, thanks for tuning in. Remember, not all growth is good, but just keep it in the back of your head.
Ooh, that's pretty good.